Revolutionary greetings. It's your boy, Haki Kweli Shakur, coming to you today on a hot day in VA. Just chilling or whatever. Just wanted to talk to you for a second about these two dates that we get caught up in. The first date, which is what we at today, and most of you will be celebrating the 4th of July. So that's what it is. July. Was catching this lady on this group. I mean, these Facebook groups are hilarious, man. Let me just say that for a quick second. I mean, I don't knock nobody, because everybody ain't up on this conscious level. So I'm not one of them type of people who are degrade no one. So you won't ever catch me degrade no one. So don't even look for that from me. But I just want to talk about what she said. She was like, I'm thankful to God for letting me have this day so I can go out on my grill and cook some pork and all that type of stuff. I couldn't do nothing but laugh because it was like, oh, wow. But, I didn't get caught up in it, because maybe she's not up on the 4th of July or what black people were doing on the 4th of July in 1776. So, let me explain to her and others. On the 4th of July in 1776, what were black people like you were doing? Let me tell you. We were getting hanged in the cotton fields, on every auction block you can name across the South, from VA to Florida to Texas, across the board. Getting sold like a piece of human stock, inventory, product, and all other types of, dehumanizing things that was going on in 1776. A lot of people said, I've seen this other cat, he said there were blacks and Indians fighting for America in the Revolutionary War. If I ain't look at this dude, man, I wanted to jump through the screen and just be like, what are you talking about, man? The mass majority of new Africans in America were not in no Revolutionary War. They were prisoners, dehumanized, sold, working for nothing in cotton fields, getting paid nothing. So, I don't know what this dude was talking about, but he needs to go back and do more research on the history of new Africans in America around that time. Because, one, we weren't citizens. We weren't Americans. We were tribes taken from Africa, spread it all through the South, owned by European Americans. The European Americans and the British, let me break this down. The Europeans and the British are one entity. If you really think the Declaration of Independence, that document and all that stuff is official, you gotta be the most mind-washed person on the planet Earth. The British and American Revolutionary War was just a savagery beast between Europeans. That's all it was. Shoot each other, kill each other, just to control land mass, to control blacks, to genocide the Native American, indigenous people, all that. So it was a battle over nothing that had nothing to do with us or any of our kind, period, is what I'm trying to say to you. They were fighting to own you and the land mass. So if that's something to celebrate, go right ahead. Go ahead and cook your pork, cook your steaks, your burgers, all that on the grill, and celebrate the genocide of Africans and Native Americans, who were no citizens of this country, by the way, at that time. So, I was just tripping off this dude, man. He was talking some whole lot of nonsense. But, let me get to this other date. June 19th, 1865, a.k.a. Juneteenth. Man, that date is the most de facto, suppressed, fabricated heroism for European Americans in the history of any country, man. For one, okay, in Texas, they so-called declared all African slaves were free on that date, which is a lie. Because you want to know why it's a lie? Because if you come to Virginia, you will see Virginia, the capital of the Confederate South at that time. Richmond, Virginia was the capital. They still had slaves. Abraham Lincoln still owned slaves. Most of the people in the cabinet, Congress, the wealthy, still own slaves after that date. So I don't know why we celebrate that day. Well, I don't celebrate that day. New Africans don't celebrate that day. Let's get that straight. But black people who celebrate that day, I think you need to go back and do a little more research, because those documents don't mean nothing. So I'm going to tell you why. Because after the 4th of July, 1776, we were slaves. After Juneteenth, 1865, we were still slaves. All throughout history, we still were not considered citizens. Why? All the way up to the struggle of the 60s, the revolutionaries of the 60s and 70s, the civil rights movement. I mean, the Jim Crow laws. That proves to you that we were still not considered equal or citizens in America, because we still were being discriminated. We were segregated. We were still being treated like animals. We weren't human. We had no rights. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I always say, when did New Africans, aka black people, gain independence from the United States of America? I want you to marinate on that. And I wanted to get back to this real quick. As far as the British in America, they still one entity. And I can prove it to you. You come to Virginia, you will see every county, every city is named after a prince, king, or someone from the royal bloodline. That's letting you know that they still are part of America. They own America. America is nothing but a corporation. It's not a country. It's an empire. You know what I'm saying? To do dirty work for the Europeans and the European Union. This country is 50 states of corporations. Each is a separate corporation. So let's get that straight. You go to Canada, still owned by Queen Elizabeth. You go there, every county, every city, everything is named after somebody in the royal bloodline across seas in Europe. So let's get that straight. There were two documents for the 4th of July, the 1776. One was the fabricated, propagandized document to mindwash the citizens of America that it was actually independence gained from the British. But there was an undercover document that was wrote out that was contractual to bring British and America together as a business partner. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there was never no independence. All it did was bring them together and cease all the violence of white people killing white people, and to own the land and to own the property, which were black people. So come on, man. I'm gonna say it like this: do you chill with the family? But let's respect the ancestors more, man. Let's go out in your backyard and pour out some water, some libation for the ancestors, man. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we were or where we are right now. Because they were captured, forced, and brought to this country, worked themselves to death for no pay, all the way up to the revolutionary period of the 60s and the 70s, were fighting for us to have better humanity in this country. So I want to give a shout out to those revolutionaries also, because they died, they were attacked, you know what I'm saying, so we can be where we are right now, which is not much, because it's only been 40 years ago that, you know, we weren't treated as citizens. We weren't citizens. We still not citizens. All them documents, man, all that stuff is fabricated. You got to go do your research, man. The 14th, 15th Amendment, slave documents. You're not free, man. I just want to get that in your head. You're not free. You might not have no chains on you, but some of you still got chains on your brain. And you got to break those, man. You know what I'm saying? So we can get over this hump, come together, and pay homage to the ancestors, man. That's all I'm trying to do today. I'm red, black, and green till it's over. I'm going to sign out for right now. I just wanted to talk to people about, don't get caught up in European holidays, man. They're great. New African scholar, the Shaka Musa Shango, rest in peace. Go check out his videos on YouTube. He's dropping all type of science on European holidays. You know, enjoy your family, but pay homage to the ancestors, homie. I just want to give a shout out to Haki Kweli Shakur. Hold your head right now, homie. I know, you know what I'm saying, you recaptured or whatever, but I'm here thinking about you also. Free the land, rebuild. Last but not least, man, pay homage to the ancestors. Ashe. We're not free, man. We're still trying to get free. Power to the people who don't feel freedom and the ones who refuse to remain free. Down. I'm out. 100. RBG. Salute.